Hello everyone, it's time for another edition of Mr. E's Paint.net Tutorials, starring me, Mr. E. Episode 6, Paint Me a Picture. Today we're going to look at the drawing tools. The three basic drawing tools are the paint bucket over here, the paint brush, and the pencil. Each of these tools does about what you think it would do, so let's start with the pencil here. If you take it onto the page and draw, it will draw in whatever color you have selected on your color palette. We'll undo that. A good time to point out that if you have a touch screen like I do, you can do that same draw with your finger if you like. So you can actually draw, freestyle with your hands. Now the paint brush, which is right down here, works a lot like the pencil does, except you get a couple other options up here on the control bar. One, you can set the brush width so you can make your drawing of your line wider. You can control its hardness. You see how it comes out a little blurrier. You can control how you fill it. It can be a solid color. You can fill it in certain ways, like diagonal cross sections, for example, and it'll actually draw the lines that way. So you have a number of options that you can play with when it comes to the brush. The biggest difference between the brush and the pencil is the width. Now, unless you're really, really creative, and I'm not, you probably won't necessarily draw freestyle a lot. I use Paint.net more as a graphics editor to put together images rather than create freestyle. But to each their own. Everybody has different talents. If your talents lie in actually drawing pictures, then I say go for it. Okay, we'll undo that. And we'll go back and reselect the pencil tool. As I pointed out, it's only 1 pixel wide. Why would you want to draw something that fine? Detail is very important, and when you work in close, I'm going to zoom in on this, you start to pick up the pixel grid, and you'll see that it's only drawing 1 pixel at a time on the screen in width. Now this is very important if you were to be creating something like custom mouse cursors or custom desktop icons, or maybe you like to make your own fonts. Any of those things would require close-in detail work. Another example is a popular video game, Minecraft. When you enter that world, you come in as the default character Steve. But people like to be individuals, and that's created an entire cottage industry of making custom Minecraft skins. They're made by recoloring the texture map for the character Steve, which is only 32 pixels high by 64 pixels wide. In fact, here is a grid of a Minecraft skin. If I actually went down and changed the measurement to inches, let's say, you actually see that this image is, well, right down here, 2/3 of an inch wide by 1/3 of an inch in height. That is all the artist creating a Minecraft skin has to work with. So it's really some pretty amazing work that they do. Let's zoom in and see what you actually have to work with. There it is. We are 32 pixels high, 64 pixels wide. After making your custom skin, you can upload it to the Minecraft server, and you no longer have to look like Steve. You can look like you. Not that I've ever played Minecraft. But anyway, now we're going to select the paint bucket. Right over here. Now you'll see that I've pre-drawn on the page a number of squares and rectangles, some intersecting, one standing alone by itself. There's a reason for this. I want to show you how Paint Bucket works. Normally, you would just click inside this area. I've pre-selected over here red. So I'm going to click in here, and it will fill that with red. but it will not spill over anywhere else, just going to go up to the black line. I can also do that here. I could change colors. Could go to a blue, and then it changes that one to blue. If I click off the screen, it'll deselect everything. And let's, just for the sake of doing things, we'll make that one yellow. Okay, now you'll see that my lines here are black and kind of a gray. Now I did that on purpose because I wanted to discuss this box up here, the tolerance box. First I'm going to undo those colors. It looks too much like the Partridge Family bus. I'm dating myself with that one. Okay, let's get all those to go away. Now we're back to where we started. Now let's suppose that I didn't want those lines to be black or gray. Maybe I wanted them to be red. I take my paint bucket tool and click on the line, and it is going to paint them all red. But what if I wanted to keep that gray part? That's where this tolerance comes in. Black and gray are pretty close, so 50% tolerance, it colored them both. But if I lower it, there, now you see that the gray reappears. If I raise it, about, 44, 43%, it changes back to all red. So your tolerance kind of helps you out when you're wanting to recolor a segment of a picture. If it spills over into another area that's a similar color, you can actually lower the tolerance so it'll only color the portions that you want. You'll notice that anywhere these black lines touched, it actually colored them all in. But it didn't affect the black lines on this box. But what if we wanted it to actually color everything in black on the screen and change it to red? Alright, well, we're going to undo our red selection. Oops, get back to the black and gray. And what we can do with our paint bucket, you have another option over here called flood mode. It comes in two versions, contiguous or global. Contiguous means if the lines are touching, it colors them, but only if they're touching. Global, it changes it everywhere on the page. So let's select global and then paint that line. And you can see it even colored the box over here that wasn't connected to the rest of them. So there you have it. Those are your basic drawing tools. That tolerance and flood mode we'll actually use a lot when we use the magic wand selection tool over here. So that's a nice segue to say that in the next episode, we'll be exploring the magic wand selection tool. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Mr. E's Tutorials.